Hello everyone, welcome to part 3 of our NASCAR fanfic reading series. Well, just a quick little recap before we jump into this. Lilly just got done telling Tony, actually, pretty legitimately sad story about how the love of her life, Bobby, had died during a racing event in Eldora. So that was a really sad way to end things, and I'm sure Tony here is about to just sweep this woman off of her feet, and Denny will never ever even get a chance to sweep her off of her feet for him. So hey, what do you know? Let's hop in to this moist story, eh? Not knowing what to say, Tony pulls her to him and just holds on to her as she cries. Sitting there with Lilly, Tony didn't know what to do for her. She was upset, and he needed to get back to North Carolina. Pulling her away from him, he said to Lilly, "Will you come with me? Come back. Come back? Come back? What? With me to North Carolina? Oh, God. Get away from here for a couple of days. I'll fly you back when you're ready. I'll talk to Grace and tell her you will be working from my house. And I even talked to the boss for you." Jeez. She smiles and says, I don't know. I shouldn't take time off. I just started. She's about to say here, but it is a he. Tony puts a finger on her lips. Oh God, that's no. I said I already talked to the boss. Please, Lilly. I promise to take your mind off of him. Let me help you heal. Tony gives her his best irresistible grin. Like I said, he's a cheesy burrito right now. Okay, but Tony, you don't need to do this. You don't even know me. I'm just someone that works for you, Lilly says with sad eyes. Tony looks at her and shakes his head. You don't know me very well, Lilly. Yeah, she doesn't. You're being a creep. You're out doing things. My workers are more to me than just workers. They're family. And you are hurting, and I just want to help. Lilly couldn't think of anything to say, so she did the only thing that she could think of. She hugged him. Aww. Do you trust me, Lilly? I want to do something, but I need your trust. I need you to understand this is me just trying to help you heal. Will you come with me? We have about an hour before we need to leave for the airport, Tony says. I trust you, Tony. I know you will never hurt me, Lilly says while wiping the last of the tears away. Oh. Is this a trap? It's a trap, isn't it? Tony stands up and grabs her hand and leads her down the steps. Once they reach the bottom, Tony heads for the flag stand. Not knowing what he is up to, Lilly asks, Tony, where are you taking me? I can't go on the track. Tony stops at the gate and says, just trust me, Lilly. Nodding her head, she follows Tony down the few steps that leads her to the track. Oh God, it is a trap. And Lilly was never heard from again. The end. Lilly stepped under the dirt and froze. She couldn't do this. She stepped back onto the steps. Tony turns around and pulls her to him. You can do this, Lilly. Just trust me, he whispers. Nodding, she says, I'm sorry, Tony. I do trust you. I've just never been on the track. And this is the first I've seen the track since that night. And this just brought back memories. Yeah, it has. I'll be okay. Let's just walk slow. Very slow. Uber slow. Once they reached the infield, she looked at the tower. She used to go up there and watch Bobby before he got his own hauler. She used to love watching him from up there. You could see every inch of the track. As she walked past, she remembered Bobby running up there with her to watch some of the heats to get a better eye for his competition. Following Tony, he led her back onto the track. He was taking her to turn 3, and she stopped dead in her tracks. The panic look on her face, she dropped Tony's hand. Tony turns around and says, Come on, Lilly. Don't make me carry you over there. Oh God, don't do it. Don't do it, Tony. It's a trap. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Shaking her head, she says, I can't. I can't. Tony walks over to her and kisses her forehead, picks her up and carries her towards turn 3. He climbs up the small banking and stands her next to the wall. With his arms around her, she leans into him and cries. After a few minutes, she turns and touches the wall, angry that it took her love away from her. She kicks the wall. Ouch. Nailed it. Tony chuckles and says, I haven't installed the soft walls yet, Lily. She turns to him and says with a laugh, smartass, aren't we? See, and that's what I don't get. Like, if you don't want to be with someone, right? Don't try to send them mixed messages, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what makes it awkward. Ugh. Deciding to be brave, she walks away from Tony, and she walks down a bit and stops. She sits down on the dirt and just looks at the wall. She feels Tony sit down next to her as he grabbed her hand and says, Is this where he hit? This is where he landed. Wanting to feel close to Bobby, she laid her head against the wall. I hate you, she whispers to the wall. Took my life away from me. We hadn't lived our lives together. I hate you. Tony puts his arm around to comfort her, and he starts to rub her back. Ugh. You gotta calm down there, Tony. That's it, Lily. Let it out. Get everything out. Don't hold back. No one here is gonna judge you for yelling. Resting her forehead on the wall, she whispers, I'm sorry, Bobby. I'm sorry for not coming back sooner. I miss you. And I'll never forget you. I love you, Bobby. Pulling away from the wall, she looks at Tony and says, Thank you. I'm ready to leave now. I don't want to sit here in the dirt anymore. He chuckles and pulls her up. How about I go and talk to Grace, while you head home and get some things, and meet me back here in 20 minutes, Tony says to her. Not and Lily says, okay. Okay, 20 minutes. Okay. Tony grabs her hand and leads her to the car. Once they reach the car, he opens the door and she gets in. He puts on her seatbelt, like a big girl, everyone. See you in 20 minutes, he says and turns to leave. She grabs his arm and says, Thank you, Tony. You're welcome, Lily girl. He shuts the door and watches her back out. Tony had put the last of the bags in the car. He was pulling away from the airport. They had just arrived in North Carolina and they were on their way to his house. The plane ride was peaceful, and they both took a short nap and talked some. Pulling into Tony's driveway, Lily sees one of the most beautiful houses she's ever seen. A huge red brick house with a water fountain out in the front, with a circle drive around it. And of course it has this big bay window that she couldn't wait to sit in. While sitting in the car, she couldn't wait to get inside to see what it looks like, of course. Little mouth. Walking into Tony's house, Lily fell in love all over again. Like I said, she'd fallen in love like a moth to the light. She thought she could have loved his house and outdoor, this place had nothing on that one. It was big and open, and all around just beautiful. It looked like something out of a magazine. He normally lived on a houseboat, but he thought she might relax more if she was in a house instead of a boat. Tony came in a few minutes later with her bags. Smiling, he says, Welcome to my house, Lily. Turning around to look at him, she smiles. Thank you, Tony. You've been so kind to me. I don't know how I'll ever repay you. Oh boy, here comes Creeper Tony here with the words. Oh, I know a few ways, he says with a wink. Oh, do I even want to know, she says with a giggle. You can cook for me, he says with a grin. Ah, whew. Creeper sorta avoided right there. Oh, I can? Well, if that's all it takes, can I have the house? I'll cook for you whenever, as long as I can move in, Lily says with laughter in her eyes. You can have it. I'll send my people to pack up your house, and you'll be all moved in within 72 hours. Oh God. Pulling out his phone, Tony hit a few buttons. Rushing over and pulling his phone away, she says, Nah, I couldn't move in here. I like my house in Ohio. She hands him back his phone and walks over to the big bay window. Looking out, she sees that a truck is pulled in behind him. Oh. Is this Denny? Could this be Denny? Denny finally shows up for the party? We'll see. Are you expecting anyone, Tony? She asks. Oh, he must be here. He. Is he the he, though? Tony says as he turns for the door. Who is he? Lily wonders. Still looking out the window, she sees a brown-headed, tall, skinny man. Get out of a white pickup truck. Tony greets him at his truck and says a few things. The brown-headed man takes off his sunglasses and looks at Lily. His silver blue eyes meets hers. He smiles at her and says something to Tony. He was a cutie with his baby face, and he was walking towards her. Not knowing what to do, she just stood at the window till she heard the front door open. So, gonna just, show you guys who it is. Because I know it is. It's Casey Kane! Woo! So many chapters in and we don't even get to meet the love interest of the story yet. There's Casey. Being all Casey-like. Oof. Walking over to Tony, he introduces her. Lily, this is Casey Kane. Casey, this is Lily. Hello, Casey, Lily says, looking into the silver blue eyes. Hello, Lily. It's nice to meet you, Casey says with a smile. Lily excuses herself and walks towards the back patio door and goes out on the deck, wanting to be alone. Sitting down on a chair, she looks out to Lake Norman. So, who is Lily and why is she with you? She's too pretty to be with you. She's single, Casey says with a smirk. Hey, I don't think every guy's like this. I don't think as soon as they meet a really pretty girl, they try to, like, you know, go for her, you know? Like, the author's making it look like every dude, like, she is just so irresistible that every guy has to go for her. It's super annoying and I don't like it. Tony flips off Casey and grunts while walking away to check on Lily. Looking out the door at Lily, Tony knew she was hurting. He just didn't know how to help her. Wanting some help on how to help Lily, Tony turns to Casey. Do you know how to help someone when they lose a loved one? I don't know what to do, and I need some help. Casey looks at Tony, then back at Lily. He says, no. Man, I wish I did. Is that what's wrong with Lily? She looks fragile, and she could break any second. If there's anything I can do to help, I'm in. I hate seeing people like this. Well, at least I do have to say, they made Casey a good dude in this story. They made Casey a bro. I dig that. I do have something to say. I was gonna say, I feel like the author, the reason why Casey and Tony are so close to each other in this is because of the fact that they both are quote-unquote dirt racers. I feel like that's the reason why she made them close. In the actual NASCAR, like in real life, I don't know if they're this close, but that's what I'm figuring. Looking back at Lily, Tony says, me too. Me too. Chapter 9. With no Denny yet. Hearing the patio door open, Lily turns to see Tony and Casey standing behind her. Hi, I just want some fresh air. I didn't mean to be rude. I just wanted to be alone and gather my thoughts, Lily says to Tony and Casey. Hey, that's okay, Lily. Gave me a chance to talk to Tony. I came over to ask him if he wanted to come over to my cookout at my place tomorrow night, Casey says. And this is a cute moment because I'm just imagining me if I were like to say it and I was the person there. You know what I'm saying? It's cute. Lily looks over at Tony and says, go on. I'll be okay here by myself. Before Tony could say a word, Casey says, that means you're invited too, Lily. Tony's friends are my friends. What makes you think I would leave you here alone? I invited you here. I won't leave you alone, Tony tells her with a look. Oh god, that's creepy. Every second, Lily. I'm here for you. Looking at Tony and then at Casey, Lily says, I'm sorry, I just figured it was a close-knit group. And you wouldn't want an outsider. If you want to go, Tony, we can go. Yeah, thanks, Mom, for permission. God. Looking at Casey and then at Lily, Tony says, I'll let you know, Casey. Who's all gonna be there? Bunch of people? Nah, just some of the guys and their wives and girlfriends. Nothing too big. I just wanted to get together before the season starts, Casey says with a smile. Nodding, Tony says, sounds like fun. We'll let you know. All three of them stood and looked out over the lake for a long while. Tony was the first to break the silence. It sure is nice out tonight. The lake is peaceful tonight. Lily nods her head and says, I can't wait to see the sunset over the lake. It was my favorite thing to do when I lived here. It's so pretty. Casey was shocked to hear that Lily had lived here. Why had he never seen her before? Oh, well, I thought Casey was a good character. I guess he's kind of creeping too. Charlotte wasn't that big of a city, and if she was a race fan, he should have seen her around. Not letting his shyness get to him, Casey asked Lily, You lived here? I've never seen you around. Smiling, Lily says, I've lived here for 4 years. I just moved back to Ohio to my parents' old house. I started my new job at Eldora this week. Casey's face lit up. You work at Eldora? I love racing there. Even going there and watching the sprints race is a great time. Seeing the smile fade from her face, Tony reached over and squeezed her shoulder. Lily looks up and says, I used to love to watch sprints. I haven't seen a race in 4 years, and I don't know if I can watch one now. With a confused look on his face, Casey looks over at Tony. Tony's lips the words. It's a long story to Casey. Change the subject, Tony asks, anyone hungry? How about we order a pizza and just sit and talk? Then we can watch the sunset out here on the deck. Ooh, I could go for a pizza, Casey says. They turn to look at Lily. I could go for some pizza, Lily says with a smile. Tony pulls out his cell and dials the numbers to the local pizza place. Oh. Would you like your pizza to have some extra cheese on it? That's what I'm feeling from Tony right now. Tony woke to things banging around, so this is the morning after, by the way. If you didn't know that. They don't just sleep randomly, you know. Tony woke to things banging around. It sounded like pots and pans being dropped. Getting up and reaching for his phone, he walked to the kitchen. As he got close to the kitchen, his nose picked up a smell. Was that brownies? His stomach started to growl. Whatever it was, it smelled damn good. Once he reached the doorway of the kitchen, he stood and found what made all the noise. Lily. What, dude? You thought like a demon? Like you thought, dude, Slimer. Yeah, Slimer from Ghostbusters. That's who it was. Ghostbusters. Yep. Lily was in the kitchen, his kitchen cooking. Smiling to himself, he crept over to a kitchen chair to watch her cook. With her back to him, she hadn't heard him come in. She had her iPod on and was dancing with the music. Once she turned around, she gave out a blood-curdling scream. Oh my gosh, you scared the shit out of me, Tony. Lily stammers with her hand over her heart. Tony goes over to Lily and says with a giggle, Sorry, Lily. I didn't mean to scare you. I just wanted to kill you and eat you. Oh, that's not what it says. I just wanted to watch you cook. You looked happy, and I didn't want to take that away. Slapping him hard on the shoulder, she says, Well, you could have said something. Feel my heart? It's racing. She takes Tony's hand and places it over her heart. Oh, spicy. Feeling his own heart rate pick up, he reminds himself that she isn't looking for a boyfriend. Yep. She's here to heal, Tony says with a wink. I'm glad I can still get someone excited for me. Rolling her eyes, she drops his hand and goes over to the oven to check on her brownies. What are you cooking? It smells good. When can I have a taste? Tony says with a smirk. Looking through the window in the oven, Lily says brownies, and you can taste them tonight when we go over to Casey's. And not a minute before. The pouty look on Tony. Tony says, I see how it is. You cook brownies for Casey and I get nothing. Looking over at a pouty Tony, Lily says with a giggle, How about I cook you lunch, and if you're a good boy, maybe even cookies for dessert? Baby, I'm always a good boy, Tony says with a smirk. Lilly starts to laugh. Somehow, I don't believe you. With a look, Tony walks over to her, picks her up, off of the floor, throws her over his shoulder, and heads out to for the patio door. Well, someone's about to die. Pounding her fist on Tony's back, Lilly says, "Put me down! You burn my brownies, I'll kick your ass. Amen, woman. No one messes with my brownies." With a laugh, Tony stops on the deck, sits her down and says, "I was going to throw you in the lake, but since you reminded me of brownies, I decided to be nice." Seeing the smirk on his face, Lilly runs to the patio door, shuts it, and locks the door. Smart woman. Tony stomps the door and pounds on it. "Lilly, open the damn door." With a smirk, she walks away to chuck in her brownies. She didn't know why she locked Tony out of his house. It just sounded like fun. Pulling her brownies out of the oven, she takes them over to the table near the patio door. Oh, tease. Just so then Tony can purposely see. Tony's still standing there, pounding on the door. She looks over at him and she hears him say, "When I get back inside, you are dead meat." Laughing, she looks at him and says, "Keywords there, when you get back inside." She walks away and heads for the living room. Tony goes in search of a window. He always leaves one unlocked in case he ever locked himself out of the house. Once he got inside, he went in search of Lilly. Finding Lilly in the living room, Tony goes up to her, picking her up again. He walks back to the patio door. With a huff, Lilly says, "Tony, put me down." "Not this time, sweet cheeks," Tony says with a smirk. Walking down the steps, he starts towards the lake. And we never saw Lilly again. Ooh. Alright, so I'm gonna end it right there for y'all. If you like this story, hit the like button. If you like what I read and the other things I do, subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell for reminders, because sometimes YouTube's kinda derpy. If you have any video suggestions, hit me up in the comments and all that. I love reading your guys' comments and responding to them. It's one of my favorite things to do. And yeah, that's all. So I'll talk to y'all later. Bye!